Hello, welcome back to Bento Sushi Live Coding. In this episode, we're gonna take a look at a new nodes for Sverchok Add-On, and the new nodes is actually called Image Evaluate Image. I think it should be called Image Evaluate, but whatever. Uh, we know that there is already an add-on called Image Decompose, and this one is kind of similar, but Image Decompose is actually really good for pixel art. So you don't go too far. I mean, you don't go using really high resolution with Image Decompose because there is a limit, and you can also easily skip by pixel. It's really looking at the pixel. While evaluate image, it works kind of more like in the floating value, like the U and the V, I think. So this one can use higher resolution image. So let's have a look at this node. This node probably doesn't have documentation yet. It's still kind of new. I'm still kind of trying to understand it. And this one was created by Alessandro Zomparelli. You might know him from Tissue Add-On. So let's have a look at this guy. I will be using Blender logo for this. And I already downloaded somewhere in here. I made slight modification so it is exactly square, and I can just drag and drop it. So let's save this really quick. So image evaluate. So this is the first look on these nodes. So the image is already in Blender. You just select it from here. Using this method, actually, you can use also image sequence. I might show it to you at another video, but for now, just see how this works. So the output will be RGB. There is all this option repeat. They are kind of seems like similar to like if you are looking at a flat image and then assign it into a plane. The output is RGB. Let's take a look. Oh, okay. Apparently it's needing vertUV. To make it simple, I will be using just a normal grid. So this is 2 by 2. Let's make it 10 by 10. And the output is all 0, 0, 0, 0. Let's look at these points first. So the points look like that. Let's try making this 20 by 20. Still, there seems to be nothing here. Center it. So if I center the plane, now we can see some kind of number. Okay. What happens if I make it 10 by 10? So not much difference there. But this one indeed gives some kind of number, so this one probably will work. Let's try using, so this is RGB definitely. It's kind of like if you use your mouse and then kind of traveling around here and you started to see numbers because you are sampling that pixel value. I think that's what it's doing. Let's try to push this using this number. So vector out. So RGB, maybe we can just use vector in and try to push the points up using the number. So there seems to be nothing still. Let's try normalizing. Okay, if I normalize it, it seems to be creating something. Let's try 40 by 40 there. So the step doesn't matter anymore. So this one probably matters. Okay, see, I'm getting somewhere now. So let's make this 100 by 100. That's like 10,000 points. Now we can see Blender logo. So we apparently we don't need to center it. So now it's starting to make sense. So the size and the normalize things works. If I turn off the normalize, and instead I will be using this value, so that's kind of work as well. But I think normalize is better for now. Yep, this one definitely more makes sense. I mean, make more sense. And yeah, all right, so we can have this. Cool, let's reduce this to 50 by 50. We have 2,500 points. Let's go smaller, 20 by 20. Yep, this one will work. Because I'm thinking to maybe to instance objects on every point. So the points doesn't need to be plain. I think you can just change it to like something like hexagrid. Yeah, that's probably will work as well. Let's double this, 14 by 12. Scale. So this one, oops, this one doesn't have normalizations, but you can kind of see there's a Blender logo over there. So let's double this, 28, 24. Okay, cool. Scale, okay. Size. Okay, size is the one that matters in this case. So look at this. Look at this. There's Blender logo. And these points now it's kind of scattered. There is a pattern, of course, with a hexagon. And the pattern can, these points is evaluating this image. So that's why you get this. Okay, so that makes sense. What can we do? Let's go back to grid first. We know that this is working. So this is evaluate image test. Save it. I'm saving a lot. I know that version that's number 3 is working good. Now back to the grid. I want to try to get the RGB and then maybe make some box instance. So I will instance some box or even a cylinder, but maybe later. Let's try smaller number first, 10 by 10 or 16 by 16. 256 points. Plug this in there. And the box should be in the grid. And this box should be, let's try 0.5. So it's gonna be sampling. So if we look at it from the top view, so this is like the points it's sampling from this guy. So we will have Blender logo somewhere here. So it's kind of like pixel art. It's probably similar to Sverchok Add-On, but like I said, this one can be like a lot more complex. I mean, you can sample a lot more, like higher number, because it's using the UV. And color, all right, color. In this case, I'm just gonna be doing something simpler. So this is material, and then I will be using this object color. This is an old technique. This day, you're not really using object color anymore. So this is object color. I wonder if object color is still working or not. Maybe it doesn't. Oh well, maybe I need to render it out. So object color. Oh yeah, it's still working. Okay. So I'll be using object color and assigning the color in there. Save it again. Oh yeah, Blender crashes. I think it's my Mac is crashing Blender. So let's reopen. So what is object color? PPY context object color. Okay, object ID set color. So we have 256, and the value, of course, coming from this guy, RGB. Plug into this. Oh, okay. It says use alpha, but we don't have alpha, so just use vector in. The thing about Sverchok is that the data can be kind of arbitrary, and okay, there's an alpha. Okay, I was wrong. This guy definitely use an alpha. Okay, I need to have some kind of value. It's an integer value of 1, and repeat the value. I think there's a better way to do this. This is a simple way to repeat a value. I think I must have done something wrong. This guy is refusing to get the value. I expected items unit to be a float, not a list. Color in. Now we also lost the box. Interesting. Maybe the alpha is 0. Okay, this is what we have. Okay, we can change the color. This should work. No. Somewhat, it doesn't like how I plug this color. So RGB and this should be 1. So in the past, this color doesn't have alpha. I think this day it does. So this kind of confusing. But anyhow, you got the point, right? You, instead of using color, maybe I will be just using something else, you know, like maybe scale the box up. Scale. And you can use box or cylinder. Cylinder that's maybe better. Box is better for pixel because cylinder have height, and we can assign multiple value for the height. Still getting the color. That's interesting. So if we are ignoring the color and simply just use a single color and play around with the height can be based on the RGB. With RGB also, I wonder if there is like average, because at this moment the way I do it is I'm using the A, adding them, and the RGB, adding them together and divide it by 3. Plug this into the height of the cylinder. So now we have Blender logo. We can also just add our own value. So it's kind of really like the basic height. So this works really well with Blender logo. So this is just like a 16 by 16 sampling of this image. We can go a lot higher. Be careful with the way you make this. Currently I'm kind of making copy of each cylinder, and because I'm using the matrix, but you can actually combine them into a single objects. This one will generate a lot of objects, and Blender doesn't like this. Maybe you want to merge it or something. For now, let's see. I'm gonna try with slightly higher value, 32 by 32. So yeah, this also works. Oh, the step doesn't work anymore. So at this point, we really just want to control the size of the cylinder. Okay, this one works. The coloring doesn't quite work because this guy doesn't have the alpha. That's what's missing here. I think evaluate image is missing alpha. Yeah, this one, because it's missing the alpha value. I don't know why this doesn't work. I don't know why. Have to study that a little bit. But anyhow, this is just a quick look at the image, evaluate image node. And I'm gonna take a look at this again and try to work with some kind of image sequence. I definitely need to fix this with the coloring stuff, but you get the idea. You can control the height. You can generate instance and control the height this way. It's kind of like a hybrid of displace modifier. There are many ways to create this kind of like a push pin effect, but this evaluate image is the new nodes. It's pretty powerful at sampling the color from an image. All right, thanks again for tuning in, and I'll see you next time. Thank you. Bye.